Bienvenido a la podcast del Bobas.
Nice, beautiful. Thank you. Bienvenida otra vez a Bobos Podcast. Bienvenidos a cada uno de los que están escuchando, viendo el episodio. Les agradecemos, tenemos una invitada. Pues la segunda vez, eres la primera persona, aparte de Mark,
¿Sí?
que viene por segunda vez, si no me equivoco.
Oh, ¿en serio?
Ya.
Wow.
Iba a ser René, pero por circunstancias de la vida no pudo estar aquí, pues se perdió esa oportunidad.
That and also, I'm the first female and the first female to come back again.
Yes.
So, I'm honestly I'm honored to be here with y'all. So, yeah, it's good to be back.
Y bueno, ¿cómo te fue en Rumania? Cuéntanos un poquito más de Rumania.
Romania, I don't know if you guys kind of heard it earlier, but I did a greeting in Romanian. Romania was such a great learning experience, and I was able to learn a lot of things about the culture and basically how church is different. It's done different in Romania.
Yeah.
Haciendo los servicios es diferente haciéndolo allá que aquí.
¿No hay un protocolo?
¿Un protocolo? ¿Cómo?
Como el que tenemos que hacer aquí, 5 minutos de esto, 5 minutos de aquello.
Ay, no. ¿Sabes qué? En la iglesia de Rumania, ellos hacen los servicios más a la tarde.
Oh, ¿ya?
Yeah,
¿Pero por qué es la razón?
La razón creo que es porque los hermanos, hay algunos que todavía trabajan. No sé por qué, pero así les la costumbre. Noto que allá es como México. Toda la familia, todos los amigos se quedan a la casa hasta como las medianoche, hasta muy tarde en la noche. La cultura es muy similar a la cultura hispana.
Okay.
Pero es muy bonito cómo hacen las cosas allá. Son un poquito más reservados en la manera que se hace las alabanzas y todo, pero todo está hecho con el corazón. Y es bien bonito para observar lo que ellos hacen allá en Rumanía.
Porque es muy bonito. ¿Cuál es la razón? ¿O cuál es la diferencia, más bien, sería la pregunta?
Todo lo que ellos hacen está muy centrado en una manera familiar.
Ok.
Así que aún los traductores que teníamos durante los horarios clínicas, during clinical hours, the ones who were translating for us was a family. So we had a Romanian brother who had spent 15 years in Spain. Him and his wife and his daughter, they spent 15 years in Spain and they spoke Spanish. And they were our translators. So we would tell them stuff in Spanish and they would translate everything in Romanian for the patients. And they would even teach us some words to be able to get by, like in case, we were on our own and we didn't have enough translators, because that actually did happen.
Pero ellos iban junto con ustedes al viaje.
Yeah, so
¿O eran parte de los que traducían con ustedes?
So the missionaries over there, there's a missionary church in Romania in Bucharest. Okay. And Pastor Silano and his family are over there, and they have a mission, and one of their leaders was the translator. So Brother Yanut is his name, actually, Brother Yanut, and his daughter, I kind of forgot his wife's name, but she's very, very sweet, one of the sweetest ladies, and his daughter she's just amazing, Joana. So, Joana, si estás escuchando esto,
¿Ella habla español?
Sí, habla español, pero muy bien. Aún más mejor que yo. Bueno, ella nació en España también. So, la familia tiene raíces bien fuertes de España. Y eso nos ayudó mucho para tratar de crear una relación con la comunidad. Y pues era de tanta ayuda. Esos hermanos fueron de tan grande bendición.
So, ¿cuánto tiempo duraste allá en Rumania?
Nos quedamos como unos... ¿Cuántos? Como unos 8 días. Bueno, nos pasamos un día de vuelo. Eran 14 horas de vuelo.
Está largo el camino.
Oh, yeah.
¿Está pesado y sentado todo el día?
Está difícil por la razón que si te encuentras en un asiento que está medio apretado y estás en una misma... ¿cómo se dice? And you're in the same row on that person, with those people. And if you're stuck in the middle, it's not the most comfortable 14-hour flight, at all. But I was blessed enough for every single flight. I kid you not, every single flight, I was on the aisle seat. Thank God.
Yeah.
I would have not survived if I was like stuck in the middle.
Porque pues, yo donde trabajo, yo también estoy 12 horas encerrado. Y estoy
Oh, ¿sí?
sentado en mi máquina.
See,
No.
well, that's okay.
Pero es muy
but, like,
diferente a un avión. Nunca me subí a un avión, yo no sé.
Yeah, it's different when you're in between two people. And then sometimes for us,
Yeah.
like in Romania for the Christian brigades, we had to use our carry-on bags and our personal bags.
Okay.
And we would stuff a lot of like our shirts. Like they would give us like 4 extra shirts. And so eso con la que ya habíamos tenido.
Yeah.
So everything we packed was already super tight. And I remember my mochila was like this big and it was so tight. And I had to try to shove it under the seat in front of me.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have that much foot space.
Okay.
So yeah, you just kind of have to find a way to get comfortable for the 14 hours. And you have to try to get some sleep because when you get off the plane and you start to basically unwind and get yourself acclimated to the new time zone, you're really going to want those hours of sleep. But I could not sleep that much. I was like, I would wake up like every other 2 hours.
Oh, bien pronto.
Yeah.
So, ¿cuál es el horario de diferencia? Como ahorita ya qué horas son? Ahorita son las 8 de la noche.
So over there is like a 8-hour time difference.
¿Más adelante o atrás?
Más adelante.
Oh, wow, está peor.
Son 8 horas de diferencia. Haz de cuenta que ahorita son como las 8 de la tarde, ¿verdad? Allá son como a lo mejor las 3 de la mañana.
Las 3 de la mañana.
Yeah. So, cada vez que me comunico con los hermanos de allá.
¿Todavía hablas con ellos?
Yeah, sí, hablo con Julia, hablo con Nichole, hablo con Joanna. Yeah, Nichole, son una dulzura de esas muchachas. Ay, como... So, me conecté muy bien con las muchachas y la esposa del pastor. They're just the sweetest people you'll ever meet. So like I keep in touch with them. I'll be like, hey, what time is it over there? Like, girl, it's like 3 in the morning or like 5 in the morning over here. Or it's like 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's like when you leave, when I left, I do miss it over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luego también, pero también pues es que es muy diferente porque cuando llegas a un país donde no conoces, pero la diferencia es que cuando vas a un país que no conoces, no de vacaciones, porque ustedes iban a trabajar literalmente, porque estamos hablando de otras cosas, pero ustedes realmente fueron a trabajar, fueron a hacer un servicio a la comunidad. Es muy diferente cuando tú sabes que vas a regresar a tu país o cuando ya vas a vivir allí. Me imagino que ha de ser un cambio muy diferente.
Sí, es un cambio muy diferente y pues a la realidad, in all honesty, cuando supe que era mi último día, sí me puse un poco triste.
Yeah.
Porque sabes lo que Dios está haciendo ahí en esa parte del mundo, pero quieres saber los resultados del trabajo que habías hecho. Y pues a mí y muchos de los que son parte de las brigadas cristianas te van a decir lo mismo. Yo personalmente siento que pudiera hacer más, aunque nosotros sí hicimos muchas cosas, pero como que hay un deseo que se queda dentro de ti, que quieres hacer más, que quieres hacer más cosas. Cuando se trata del campo misionero y compartir el evangelio, porque una cosa que ellos hacen, que ellos tratan de demostrar, es que nosotros tratamos, pero Jesús sana.
Oh, wow.
We treat, but Jesus heals. So we're basically just doing, we're presenting Christ through medicine, but we're also presenting the gospel.
Yeah.
We prayed for people like right on the spot.
¿Y si los dejan?
Yeah.
O sea, sí te dejan.
Yeah, they let you pray. Like one of the on the sheet that we have.
Yeah.
One of the last things after we ask them, like their medical history, at the very last part, we'll ask them like things like I'm trying to remember how I said it in Romanian. noi ne rugăm pentru tine. Can we pray for you?
Okay.
So that's one of the things that the founders and Sister Sarai and Brother Ishmael they always push for is putting Christ as the center of it all. Yes, we're going to provide medicine for you, but we're going to be able to provide medicine, but Jesus is going to provide something that we can't provide for you. Only he can do it. And there's actually times when people went inside of the prayer tent and you could just see tears coming down their eyes because they could feel the love of God just touching their hearts. And like even just like being a participant in the kids ministry. Yeah. Like in the kids part or the kids zone and not the kids ministry. We would have little kids, like even if their parents already had an appointment, they would just show up on their own because they want not only because there's like cool toys and painting stuff that you could do, but like these kids didn't have anything. They didn't have very much. Like sometimes you'd see them with their little chanclitas all rotas and their little torn up chanclas and their worn out shoes. We actually had one little boy. I'll never forget him. He would come almost every day of clinic. There was only one day he missed that he didn't show up for the clinic. But the day that we had service, he showed up. Like, cause he had like his clothes were not the cleanest. Yeah. When he was coming to the clinic, but on that Sunday that we had service, he would always come by himself. We never saw his parents. That day he showed up in this nice little suit that you could tell he probably ironed. Yeah. Yeah. And he combed his little hair. Oh yeah. He came in his little khaki like shorts. Ah, okay. And he came in with his little same chanclitas that he always came in.
todo diferente menos las chanclas.
And then we asked him, and then we asked him, hey, one of the staff asked him, hey, where are your parents? And they're like, I came by myself. And,
eso fue lo que dijo el niño.
Yeah, and then he said, if I go to church, I like to go to different churches. And if my parents find out that I'm going to church, I could be in trouble.
Oh, wow.
So we saw that these kids, and there were times when like we would take, they would eat something, we'd give them something to eat. And you could tell that they didn't really care about like the big fancy stuff. Yeah. Because they wouldn't ask for like candies. This kid wouldn't ask for candies or anything. The thing that they hungered more for the most, like more than food, was attention and love. Oh, wow. And when you create like that kind of bond and you know that you're going to leave, you kind of leave with that concern of like what's going to happen to them. Correct. Yeah.
¿Qué edad tenía el niño, no? Más o menos, ¿te acuerdas?
He was probably around like 6 or 7.
No, estaba chiquito.
Yeah, 6, 7, or 8, somewhere around there. Yeah. Maybe I think he's more like maybe around the age of 7. We would play soccer with him, and we would just we would have a good time with the community. Sometimes like a good percentage of the patients that we saw, at least 80% of them didn't make it past the age or like didn't make it past the grade of 8th grade. Oh, wow. So a lot of them, you see a lot of them were elderly people. Yeah. And some of them didn't get to finish, middle school. Some of them didn't get to finish high school. And so a lot of them were on the government's pension. So the patients that we had, we saw like at least over 400 of them.
Oh, sí fueron muchos. Mm-hmm. Les quiero preguntar cuántos pacientes fueron, como 400.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was difficult to sometimes see that, some like they didn't have jobs, and there was like some kids, like some of the kids would come in with checkups with their parents, but it was difficult to see that mom and dad probably didn't have a job,
Bueno, ¿y cómo se mantienen? No. ¿Cómo le hacen? Porque no. ¿Será porque aquí vivimos muy diferente? Aquí si no trabajas, no comes.
Over there,
Bueno, todo el tiempo, pero...
the government's a little bit different over there. I think I want to say it's still democratic, or it's it's in una república, but what they do have like a government pension,
Okay.
but like it's not like to get medicine over there, to get like a doctor's appointment, it's expensive. Like for you to get a pair of reading glasses, just regular reading glasses like the ones that we have here in the US that you could buy at the dollar store.
Yeah.
It's like way expensive over there. So when the patients heard that we were giving out free reading glasses,
Really.
we had like at least like the majority of them were there for their reading glasses. And so like a lot of the times they would tell me like okay, what do you ¿qué es lo que necesita? What do you need? What can we do for you? They'd be like problema oculare. I'm like, okay, ocular problems. Okay, so you need reading glasses. That's all we have. And so a lot of them, a lot of the elderly, a lot of the patients we had were elderly.
Yeah. So, pero no, los lentes que quedaban nomás eran para leer, no eran para otra cosa.
Yeah, but a lot of them still needed them.
Yeah.
They still wanted to have reading glasses. So here's the cool thing about Christian Brigades. While they were doing like the tests for to test their right to see if they had the right prescription, was that they would pull out a Romanian Bible, a Romanian New Testament Bible, and they would have them read it, and they would test out their vision with a Romanian Bible. So not only would they get free reading glasses, but they would get a new Bible to go with it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, era la Biblia y los lentes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, good idea.
Yeah, it was an awesome way. Like I said, it's like this is all about evangelism.
Yeah.
Yes, part of it's to do humanitarian efforts and humanitarian work, but the whole point is for all of this to point back to Jesus.
Nice. Bueno, ¿y cómo era un día allá? ¿Cómo fue cómo empezaban en la mañana y cómo era un día allá en Romania?
So,
desde que te levantabas hasta que te dormías.
So the way we would start off our days is that we would start off our days by waking up for morning prayer, because we every day we would, before we would go into the clinic, we would pray. We would declare healing. We would declare blessing. We would declare restoration over all of our patients, and not just over the patients, but over the staff, because you'd be surprised. Like sometimes the reason why some of us go on a missionary work is to seek out what God is calling us to do.
Yeah.
So we would pray for each other, and we would minister to each other before we went into the field. It was a really, really beautiful experience. I think one of the best parts was just having prayer with each other in the morning, because you could feel the presence of God. It was like super palpable.
Yeah. No, especialmente porque están todos. Yo siempre he dicho, en un campamento o en una forma donde vas a buscar a Dios, es bien fácil buscar a Dios.
Yeah.
Porque no nomás eres tú, hay 3, 5, 6, 10 personas contigo.
Yeah.
So es mucho más fácil de poder adorar o buscar a Dios o sentir a Dios.
And the thing about that is that they, this organization does a great job of having you spiritually prepare yourself before you get into the mission work. Because one of the things that they want the staff and the volunteers to be prepared with is overall spiritual equipment. So during the week, we would have, before we went to Romania, every week we would have devotionals, like online.
Oh, sí?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So we would have we have prayer partners, we have mentors, and we would have monthly meetings where not only would we just talk about like, the administrative part of everything and like, what we're supposed to do as far as like fundraising and stuff goes.
Yeah.
We would spend that time in prayer with each other, and I can't tell you how many times that those meetings have been a blessing to my life.
Yeah, me imagino.
Because sometimes I would come with a heavy heart, and there was a lot of things going on in my personal life, but knowing that somebody else that I'm not related to or that I don't live close to is praying for me.
Yeah.
And they care, they care about the people that are involved. It really builds a sense of camaraderie among the team. Like I still talk to some of them. I still talk to a lot of them. And for me, when I first came back, it was kind of a little hard to adjust. Not so much because of the culture change. Part of it was because like we were all really exhausted, like physically when we came back.
You were tired?
We were so out of it. And sometimes I would feel bad because I would wake up late and I wouldn't wake up on time for morning prayer, or I wouldn't wake up on time to be able to start a fast. Nobody who didn't go to Romania or go on a mission trip would really understand that.
Yeah.
Like the actual exhaustion that kind of takes place after that. So the fact that I can go to someone from my team and be able to have that entrustment, with them.
Yeah.
It's a whole other world.
Ya es muy diferente. ¿Desde cuándo se empezaron a tener esas reuniones y esas juntas? ¿Cuánto tiempo se toma para preparar todo eso? Porque yo me imagino.
Since the day we signed up.
Pero ¿cuánto tiempo es? ¿Un mes, 2 meses, 3 meses? Oh, es un año.
Yeah, so 1 year, last year, not a year, I would say maybe more like 10 months.
Yeah.
So I remember my first meeting was last year in like August.
Also, un año.
Like August or September. And we would have our monthly meetings with each other, and we would talk about like what we're going to do for fundraising, what are we going to do to pray, what kind of fast are we going to do, how many days a week are we going to fast, who are you going to connect with, like also like getting ready, like the pasaportes, the passports, permisos, yeah, all of those things were time sensitive, but you kind of just spend time building a relationship with your team before you go over there.
Y eso es mucho mejor. Yeah. Porque ya cuando ya llegas allá, ya has hablado con ellos, ya has reído con ellos, tal vez hasta llorado con ellos.
Yeah. We actually get, so the funny thing is, it's not the funny thing. It's the one of the most beautiful parts is that you tend to build this kind of bond, even like with my roommates, like Brenda and Liz. I don't know if they're going to watch this, but I was talking to Brenda the other day, and we were like, yeah, like we had some of the best conversations over there. And like I said, it's like you're not just ministering to people who are of a different culture, you're ministering to each other.
Correcto.
Yeah, like even though like you're going to be in a different state, you're going to, like when you come back, you're going to be in a different state, you're going to be in a different city.
Yeah.
And
todas sus comodidades que tú tienes.
Yeah.
¿No te pasó que cuando los viste en persona eran diferentes a como te los imaginabas?
You find out more things about each other.
Yeah. Está muy chaparrito, pero ya está muy grande. ¿No te pasó eso?
So yeah, I guess so. Like I finally got to meet my prayer partner, Marissa.
Okay.
She is so sweet. There's times when we couldn't automatically respond to each other's text messages because there would be a lot of things going on.
¿Sí había señal allá?
Huh?
¿Sí había señal?
In Romania?
Cuando sus teléfonos sí agarraban?
Yeah. So one of the things that they had us do before we went there was to get a cell phone plan that could be used in Romania.
Okay.
And some people didn't have service because their cell phone company, T-Mobile, could not.
Saludo a todos los de T-Mobile.
Could not reach the signal over there.
Yeah.
So people who had AT&T were most likely able to get service over there.
¿El metro también, no?
El
metro es de AT&T.
No, some people had Cricket.
¿Y es de AT&T? No, el metro no es de AT&T.
No, Cricket's part of AT&T. Yeah. But the people who had Cricket could not get service over there, so they had to rely on people that had AT&T. You know what? Maybe T-Mobile did have better service over there. I think someone had Sprint.
Ese primo no jalaba ya.
Yeah, no. So there were days when they didn't have cell phone service, so they had to wait for like Wi-Fi. Yeah. Even then the Wi-Fi was not the best in our hotel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, ahorita que decía eso porque yo conocí un amigo de Colombia. Tenía años practicando con él, desde 2017. Y teníamos reuniones y cada semana nos juntábamos y hacíamos reuniones de lo que hago yo. Y luego cuando vino el 2019, 2019, cuando vino aquí con nosotros. Cuando yo lo vi, pues era un niño, o sea, no era un niño, pero era un niño, era muy chaparrito.
Uh-huh.
Y cuando lo vi dije, ¿a poco eres tú? Dije, ya, soy yo, es Wilson, y era Wilson, así se llama él. Por eso yo preguntaba de las personas que...
Yeah, like, I think it was kind of like that. Some of them had their cameras turned off on the Zoom meetings.
Okay.
So you didn't always get to see what they looked like. I mean, we kind of had that opportunity because we had at least 10 opportunities because we would meet every month, once a month. I think, but like they also have this really cool thing on Thursdays where you get to hang out with the staff and you get to hang out with the other volunteers and just
Zoom?
convivir.
¿En Zoom?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So, ¿cuántas personas fueron?
There were about like 40 of us, 48.
¿De aquí cuántos fueron? ¿De aquí de Texas?
Oh, a lot of people from Texas went.
Really?
Yeah. Half of us were from Texas.
No,
Yeah, muchos de ellos eran de la iglesia de Pastor Daniel Martinez.
Oh,
yeah. So Pastor Daniel was there. I got to know the girls from there. I got to know Alexia, Tarsis, George, who else? And I'm trying to remember the other guy's name. I'm not going to mess up his name.
Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people from Texas.
Pero de aquí, del distrito, nomás fuiste tú.
I was the only one from our district.
Sí,
yeah.
Pero dije, no puede haber otra persona. No, a mí no que yo me acuerde.
There was a couple from San Antonio, though. Okay. Brother Sam and sister Liz, coolest couple ever. Yeah. They are like goals. Like they know how to have a good time with each other. Yeah. So there was parejas in Romania that went to the mission trip. Yeah.
So Texas llevó más gente que ningún otro estado.
You know what? I would say probably yeah. There's a few from California.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy from Chicago, Jonathan. Jonathan's probably gonna watch this and be like, hey, Oscar. 2 people from Oregon came. That was Karen and that was Oscar. Who else came from another state? I think that's it. I want to say it was Oregon, California, Texas, and Illinois.
Okay.
Illinois, yeah.
Sí, fueron varios estados como quiera. ¿Vas a ir para el año que viene? ¿Cada cuándo lo hacen? ¿Cada año o...?
So this is the first time ever that they've done it in Romania. Like, this was breaking ground.
Pero, digo, cada año hacen un trip, ¿no? Cada año hacen un viaje.
Every year. I think during the pandemic, they probably had to put the brakes on it.
I'm pretty sure que sí. Era cuando iba a ir tú y tu hermana, ¿no?
No, that was a different one. That one was with the... it was with the assembly, the Messengers of Peace.
Okay.
Yeah, that one was going to be in Kenya. They are having one in Africa, though. They're going to have one in the Congo next year in August.
¿Las brigadas?
The brigades, yeah.
Are you planning to go or no?
I want to go. You know, I want to go back to Romania. I want to go try the Congo, but like there's
allá donde no hay nada, allá donde...
Oh, Congo is a whole other level of mission work. It's
that
one you have to be definitely spiritually prepared. Some of the ones that went to Romania went to Congo.
Okay. So ya sabían.
Yeah, so they know what's up over there. But God has done so many wonderful things, you know, in the Congo, and he's going to continue to do a good work over there. So anybody who wants to go, India is coming up in February.
Okay.
February, and then Romania is going to be in June again of next year. And then Congo is going to be there on the list again as well.
So, pero si piensas ir tú a uno de ellos.
Yeah, I want to go back. Definitely. I want to go back.
Sí lo recomiendas que vayan.
Oh,
Cambia la vida, ¿no?
It's life-changing in a way that you see ministry in a whole other light.
¿Cuál es la diferencia? Especialmente tú como hija de pastor, ¿cuál es la diferencia? ¿Cuál es la mentalidad ahora que vienes de allá? ¿Cuál es la mentalidad que dices tú, wow, esto cambió mi vida?
Well, one thing that really touched my life, I'm sorry. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm not crying. I was just like a fake sneeze that was going to happen. Was seeing the missionary family.
Yeah.
Like seeing their everyday life and their relationship with each other and their relationship with the community. There was a time when I was there and I did get a little homesick. I missed my family. I wanted to know what ministry was like for myself. outside of like my parents.
Yeah.
You know, this is the first time ever that I went anywhere
Sola.
on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a beautiful experience to see the Silano family just give it their all.
Yeah.
Like they learned another language that was not their first language.
Oh, wow. So, si hablan bien el idioma. ¿Qué idioma ellos hablan?
So in Romania they speak Romanian, but the Silano family, they're Mexican and Italian.
Oh,
so brother Silano, Pastor Silano, is Italian, but his wife, Sister Abby, is actually here from the U.S. and she's Mexican of Mexican descent.
Yeah.
And her kids, they all speak 4 languages.
Wow.
All speak 4 languages. They speak English, Italian, Spanish, and Romanian. So their kids were our main translators. I don't know if we could see them. We'll have a picture of one of them.
Yeah, por eso que ahorita la vamos a poner.
Yeah. So let's see. Go to the next one. Okay, so over here, this is Nichole.
La que está enfrente de... ¿Las dos del medio?
The one that's right next to me.
Okay.
On my left or right side.
Yeah.
That is Nichole. She's the youngest daughter, but she was also one of the main...
Es tu tocaya, ¿no?
¿Huh?
Es tu tocaya.
Tocaya.
Sí, porque te llaman Nichole también.
Sí. le dije, Nichole, tú y yo tenemos el mismo nombre.
Yeah.
Pero hers sounds way cooler.
Wow.
I don't know.
¿El tuyo cómo es?
The way they say it in Italian is Nichole.
No.
Nichole. The way they say it is like Nichole.
Es lo mismo. Es un poquito diferente, pero bueno.
Yeah. And then right there next to her is Maria. Maria is that's not her sister, but Maria is one of the other translators that we had there.
Okay.
She is one of the coolest kids ever. They're both very young. They are so mature though. Yeah, Nichole's like maybe like 14. And,
oh wow.
Yeah.
¿Cuántos idiomas hablan dos?
Maria mostly understands English.
Okay.
So Maria is bilingual in that sense.
Yeah.
So she understands English, but Nichole understands all 4 languages.
La que trae lentes.
Yes.
Ella habla 4 idiomas.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yo de
crazy.
milagro hablo español, imagínate.
And I'm a Yo no sabo kid, so my Spanish is not the best, and her Spanish is like
perfect.
Flawless. Yes, it's really good. And her their English and everything. They're just really bright, a really bright and beautiful family. Sister Abby is so sweet. She's so quick to help. Like, yeah, she reminded me of my mom.
Rápida para ayudar.
Oh yeah, rápida para ayudar. And if she sees that you need something, she like she'll try to find a way to help you out there. I told her, I was like, you know what, sister, you remind me a lot of my mom. Porque siempre está allí, para ayudar. And it's like, mija, that's just what us moms do. And,
ella es la esposa del pastor?
Yeah, that's the pastor's wife,
okay.
And that's her mom.
Okay.
That's Nichole's mom, yeah. So very, very sweet and loving family. But yeah, that's one of the things that really, really touched my heart over there. I mean, just being a pastor's kid in general,
yeah,
and like having to share your parents, like at first it's difficult,
yeah,
and like you kind of have to teach yourself to be able to have a balance, because sometimes there are pastor's kids who go through hurt,
yeah,
because they don't always have the best balance in their life, Sometimes mom and dad will not give them attention as much as they need it. And there's just a lot of things, a lot of factors that come in. So I could kind of understand, Julia and Nichole a bit, but theirs is a whole other level of like, ministry and sacrifice. They left their home in Italy
para ir para allá.
To go over there.
Yeah.
So they left everyone they knew. They left their family. They didn't, because in Romania they don't have any other family.
No más son ellos.
Yeah, but they do it because they love God. And like when I saw the kids, when I saw that they were all working together as a team.
Yeah.
And like, and in some cases, what I've seen here in the U.S. is that whenever families do ministry here, sometimes it's not always that, like you could tell that the kids are brought in because mom and dad are in it.
Yeah. No porque ellos vengan.
Not because they want to do it.
Yeah.
Or because, it's their passion. Like, it was so different for them. Like,
¿Así crees que se deba a eso? ¿Cuál será el motivo? Porque nosotros conocemos hijos de pastores aquí. Y tú sabes que no tienen la misma pasión que ellos. Yep. ¿Cuál será la diferencia?
I think, like, what's the difference of, like, living over there, or, like, being a pastor's kid here, or being...
No, tener como ese coraje de poder ir solas porque quieren ir. O de poder servir. Porque dices que ellas tienen una pasión por servir, por ayudar.
For me personally, it's a learned thing. I learned it from my parents.
Yeah.
I saw that they loved God, like, genuinely, Yeah. And I think it might be the same for them, because you learn to have a heart of servitude because your parents teach it to you, but also you kind of start to wonder, okay, I want to have a relationship with God for myself.
Yeah.
I want to see what it is that makes my mom and dad get up every morning. I want to see what it is that makes them get out of their comfort zone, go into somebody else's house, go and bless that person, go and be a blessing to people that they barely know. I want to know that feeling for myself. I want to know the reason why they do everything. And when you have that sentido, that feeling, that's when you begin to embark on that journey of having a relationship with God and serving Him. Okay. So, like, kind of like a person who, like, let's say, like, you didn't grow up in church, you didn't grow up in the ministry, but you see someone else, you see another brother or sister, like a Christian, and you're like, pues qué tendrán ellos? Yeah. What's so different about them? Why do they always have, like, that joy and that passion and that charisma? I want to know why. And then that's when the journey begins. It's because you are drawn to that love, that only comes from God.
Yeah. So, esa es la diferencia que también...
I think I would say that's the main, that was main difference. I don't know. I don't know if that's kind of... Is that on track?
Sí, claro, sí. Yeah. Sí, porque era lo que te preguntaba, porque me imagino que allá en otro país, aquí nosotros tenemos todo, literalmente. Yeah. O sea, tenemos desde transporte, comida, y allá no. Allá también tiene, pero no es lo mismo que
it's
aquí.
Different. What is it? Even their Skittles are different.
Yeah? Muerden ¿por qué?
So, over there, you know how, like, in the U.S. we have, like, those sour Skittles, and they're, like, crystallized, and they're, like, really sour?
Yeah.
So, over here in the U.S., they discontinued the sour Skittles. So when I saw them, they don't sell them anymore. Yeah, I haven't seen them in the stores anymore. Yeah. So when I went to Romania and I saw that green little bag of Skittles that says sour on there, I was like, "No, hombre, aquí las tienen? Okay, I'm gonna buy them." Yeah. I bought them and I was like, "This is not the same."
No.
Like, this is not the same. They still tasted really good though. Yeah, they were really good. Like, over there, the food is different. It's really delicious, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, over there they te dan como un caldo, like una sopa bien grande, like this big old bowl of soup.
Yeah.
And the sisters are such good cooks. Oh my gosh. Yes. And over there they serve bread with everything. Pan con todo.
So aquí como la tortilla nosotros. Bueno, no aquí en México.
Allá es como allá usan mucho lo que nosotros llamamos como pan blanco or pan francés, or like they have like a whole, like, like white breads and stuff and pastries, like their pan dulces over there. They have some really good pan dulces. Yeah.
Igual que la concha o mejor.
What's funny is that one of the volunteers brought a whole pack of conchas with her. Yeah.
No, siempre tiene que haber. ¿Y luego ya las comieron?
Yeah, Elizabeth, one of my friends that I made over there, Elizabeth brought like a whole bunch of pan dulces, and you could see them
La
sharing
panadera.
it on the airplane, and you could see them sharing it in Romania while we're like, like while we're on break or
Pero sí
something.
los dejaban, sí los dejaban
Yeah,
pasar.
they let you bring them. They won't let you bring like navajas or like stuff
Yeah.
like that, you know?
Pero pan sí.
Huh?
Pero pan sí. O sea, pan sí la
Fancy, yeah, yeah. She brought it, and I wish I would have done that. I think what I brought was the snacks that my friends had brought me,
Yeah.
because before we had left, my sister and a couple of friends of ours who are actually here in the studio, they're in the back. They did a little surprise party, and some of them brought snacks, and I took American candy with me over
pues
there.
no me invitaron, qué gachos.
I am sorry.
Nah, no te creas, no te sentido. Pero y luego, eso que llevaste eso para allá, esos snacks y todo eso.
So I actually gave the translators and the missionaries kids the Sour Patch candy that I had. I was like, hey, you guys want some? They're like, oh yeah, sure. Because the candy over there is different. They don't like really have some of the U.S. candy that we have here. They have Snickers though.
Yeah,
I saw that over there.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a very awesome experience. I mean, just being able to like build relationships. Like, I don't know, like if y'all want to see like a photo of like some of the part of the team that we have. So this is actually all the girls, like this team. They did the kids lobby, and also I think where is she? Okay, you see Tarsa's over there, and then you'll see Liz, you'll see Damaris and Janessa, and there's another Liz over there. But like all of them, we were all on different teams. Like we were all working in different stations. Some of us were taking vitals, some of us were taking patient history, but we always found a way to be able to like be helpful to each other.
Okay.
So we were always there to kind of just also support.
So, ¿qué es lo que ustedes hacían durante el día? O sea, ¿qué eran lo que ustedes estaban sirviendo? Aparte de tomar lo de la vista y todo eso que me estás platicando.
So like there's actually a video, I don't know if Margarito has it, of like what it looked like. So this is a service. I don't know. Okay, maybe not. Nope, that's a touristic part. I don't think I sent it to you, but that's okay. So what we did was I did patient history, and I would ask the patients questions, or the translators would ask them. But like there were times when I had to do it on my own. I'd be like, che medicament consume, like I'm pretty sure I just messed it up. I'm like, what medications did you consume? Diabetes en familia. Do you have diabetes in the family?
Yeah.
Cáncer en familia. And so like we would just write down all the patient history and then pass it on to the vitals. And then from there, we had like a very structured system.
Ah, okay. So tenían algo estructurado.
Yeah. So it wasn't like, at first, the first day, it was like, it was crazy. Yeah. Because de repente, like, as soon as we had one patient in, like, all of a sudden, like, 10 other people started showing up.
Yeah.
And we were still trying to set up the tables.
Y todavía no estaban listos.
And we were not quite ready, but like it was all like the first day is a learning experience for sure. Like,
pues casi todo el tiempo, ¿no? La primera vez en todo lo que vas a hacer siempre es un proceso que llevas, y más, me imagino que allá debe ser más difícil porque estás poniéndote donde hay gente que puedes o sabes que va a llegar más gente. Si cuando nosotros vamos a un campamento o vas o simplemente el Black Friday, los primeros cómo se pone, ya después ya puedes hacer el trabajo más fácil.
Yeah, it was definitely, the first day was like, okay, how do we make this work? How do we make this flow? Like, I think we actually spent time checking all of the equipment to make sure everything worked. And of course, there's its mishaps where some of our equipment wasn't always working, but like we made things work, and we would like problem solve, the situations. Okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to take vitals, we're going to do it manually, we're going to do take measurements. We don't have a translator, so we're gonna use Google Translate. Google Translate was my best friend.
Lo usaban así literalmente todos los días.
Sometimes my phone would be close to dying. But like some of the translators, I don't really like to brag or anything, but like some of the translators, like they're like, sister, you picked up pretty quickly. I was like, Thank God for Google.
Sí, pues sí, estaba olvidando que...
Yeah, so like a lot of the language, like some of us had to teach ourselves, you know, how to say certain things, you know, in Romanian. But we also had to be very aware of the culture. Like, even the way we dressed
is different.
It's different. So what, like, the ministry that we had was to minister primarily mostly to the gypsy community. We did have like one Ukrainian family come, but that was like at the end. That right there was just, it was heartbreaking to see that.
¿Por qué?
Well, I didn't get to see it firsthand. I saw them walk in.
Yeah.
But like the doctors and the nurses were telling us stories like of what this family had gone through.
Oh, wow.
So, like over there in the kids' room, we have like balloons and stuff. One of the balloons popped and they were having a panic attack.
Oh, wow.
The family was having a panic attack because in Romania, they're helping a lot with the refugee crisis, right? For Ukrainian refugees that are leaving the war. So these women are in a country with their kids, without their husbands, but they also experienced a lot of like explosions.
Yeah.
And explosive sounds. So whenever they heard the balloon pop, it triggered anxiety. And not only that, but one of the kids had autism.
Oh, más que todavía.
Yeah.
Especialmente tú, que es lo que trabajas.
That's actually interesting because my roommates, we were all registered behavior technicians.
Oh,
in
yeah?
my field. Yeah, we thought it was on purpose, but
no.
But when I heard the doctor, because I was talking to Dr. Patel, who was one of our doctors who volunteered. And I was like, hey, doctor, I was like, I heard you guys had some refugees come in. How was that? And he told us basically what I had just said. And he said, yeah, right now, like the mom has like multiple medical conditions.
Oh, wow.
Multiple, not just PTSD. And, you know, like there was this other rare condition that she had that they couldn't treat there because it was very extraneous.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of healing that really needs to take place in Romania, like emotional healing. I mean, this country is a brand new country. It's not that old. It's not like the US where we have like at least 200 years of being a country. Over there, they have at least like 40 years of being a country, 40 to 50 years.
¿De qué parque era antes él?
So Romania used to be more part of a communist country.
Okay.
Era un equipo un gobernante comunista.
Okay.
Y eran muy estrictos con la gente y abusaban la gente, you know? So whenever they dismantled that government, of course you have to start, you know, again.
Desde abajo.
You know? Desde abajo. And it's such a beautiful country. A very, very beautiful people.
Yeah.
Nice.
¿Qué fue lo que más te gustó de allá?
Other than the food?
Aparte de la comida, que aparentemente estaba muy buena.
Like the country itself?
Del trip y del country.
So over there, I just love how the people are very, they're very kind.
Yeah, son muy buena gente.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes like it'll take them some time to warm up to you like any other person would. But like when you really connect with these families, I mean, they love to laugh. They love to have a good time. You know, let's see, what's one thing that really caught my attention about Romania? The way they show their love is through the food sometimes. Like the moms over there, te traen comida and they expect you to finish that big old plate of food.
Yeah?
Yeah, they have like this little, I forgot what they call it. I'm going to have to ask the brothers in Romania to see what it's called again. But it's like this cabbage roll.
Uh-huh.
So it's like meat, carne de puerco con arroz, con una salsa especial o like some sort of special broth, pero lo envuelven en repollo, en hojas de repollo.
Oh,
Y
nice.
te lo comes como si fuera un spring roll.
Ah, ok, eso estaba bueno.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just love the fact that the way they show their love is through actions.
Nice.
And they're very, very much about that. And actually, I saw a lot of dads. A lot of dads were bringing their kids to go get medical checkups. Usually, it's the other way
Ándale,
around.
iba a decirme que no
Yeah.
que son...
And yeah, the moms too, but sometimes the moms were working in the markets. You know, the moms would be working as waitresses, and the husbands also too would have like night shifts and stuff. They're just they're very hardworking people.
Yeah.
Very hardworking people, and very allá en los servicios they use the accordion too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They use the accordion and like
No,
the music over there is beautiful. Actually, there's a video of the worship that took place over there. Yeah. So it actually sounds like Spanish. They sing some of the song in Spanish, but they sing it in Romanian. They translated a Spanish worship song in Romanian, and some of us were able to know what song it was. So I don't know if you guys want to play it.
Yeah.
So we actually had service outside of the clinic. So we're actually right next to the pharmacy that's right next to the church, right there in those double doors behind the drummer.
Yeah.
That's the entrance to the actual sanctuary, and that's where a lot of our treatments took place at, and doctor's appointments took place. So as you could see, the men and the women are separated in the service.
Oh, wow. So yeah. Separados?
Yeah. So the men and the women are separated. Men sit on one portion of the sanctuary, and then the women sit on separate sides.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Pero así es todo el tiempo?
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, aquí ya lo hacemos diferente. Aquí cada quien se sienta donde quiere, pero...
Yeah, over here it's more, how would I say, co-ed.
Bueno, ahorita, hace 10 años para atrás, todavía, a mí todavía me tocó un campamento ir y donde nos separaban.
¿A poco sí?
Sí, ¿cómo no? Bueno,
I mean, I still see camps.
Hace como 10 años, or something, era todavía Lizama, era la presidenta.
I remember.
Y me tocó estar donde estaban los hombres y donde estaban las mujeres, separados. Y luego después de ahí ya cambió, entró alguien más y ya cambió.
But see, like, that's like the more general setting. See, like, I get that part, but like in the local setting, you know, you usually sit with your families and stuff. Over here, the families don't sit together. Like, the husbands sit with the other men, and the wives sit with the other women and the children. But sometimes they'll send over the boys to go sit with the men.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, del trip, del viaje, ¿qué fue lo que más te motivó para poder hacerlo otra vez? ¿Qué fue esto me motivó porque a mí yo sé que ya dijiste de las familias y todo eso, pero aparte de eso, ¿qué fue lo que más te motivó?
I would say just mostly that, just wanting to go and serve and be of a blessing to the people of Romania, because Romania it's in need of revival.
Yeah.
It's in need of revival. It needs Jesus. Especially with what's going on in Europe and Russia.
Y ahorita lo que está pasando, ahorita lo que va a pasar ahorita estamos aquí.
Ahorita, bueno.
Estamos a 17. Este episodio va a salir como el 20 y tantos. Y luego también el euro bajó a $1, right? A mí no me quiero meter a lo
Okay,
pero
inflation over there is a big thing.
No, aquí también.
Yeah.
Aquí printearon más. Ahorita tenía el dato hace rato. Yeah. Porque iba a hablar con René. Mm-hmm. Y pues como no está el primo, pues ni modo. Pero es que el dato ese que printearon, mira el dato, printearon más de 10 trillones.
3 trillion?
Yeah.
Wow.
Y solamente le regalaron 1,400 a la gente.
Wow.
Y los dejaron con una inflación de 9%. Aquí en Estados Unidos. Yeah. Me imagino allá de ser otra locura. Aquí es porque pues el dólar es la moneda mundial. Yeah. Me imagino que allá es súper más difícil.
Yeah, over
ahora
there.
Sí, sorry por interrumpir, pero no me quiere decir ese dato.
You're good. I'm kind of like, I'm just trying to process all that data. I'm like,
it's crazy.
My goodness. It is crazy because Over there, $200 is 430 lei. 430 lei.
Yeah.
That's like, you know how in Mexico, like $1 is like 20 pesos?
Yeah.
It's like double over there, like more than that. And I remember, like, for a second I was like, okay, I'm like, maybe I should take like extra money just in case. I didn't even use everything over there because that's how it's the economy is over there. It's just inflation. Like the American dollar is so much over there.
Claro.
Yeah.
Está chido para nosotros o para los que van.
Yeah.
Pero para los que viven allá.
Not for the people that live there. No.
Yeah. Bueno, ¿y por qué nos metimos ahí?
What do you mean, like?
Ya, ¿por qué llegamos a esa conversación?
We were talking about how just Romania is in a lot of need and anything.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And how what's going on in Europe, and I guess we got into the economy of it.
No, pero en la inflación, estabas hablando de la inflación.
Yeah, so like over there, poverty really is a thing. Like, and okay, so one of the reasons why we started where we started, was to basically start breaking ground and building trust in the Gypsy community. Okay. Because that's the part that we went to is not the really impoverished part. Like there's another part of Bucharest that's just like, man, there's like poverty really does exist. Yeah. And like some of the patients I think would come from those areas and come to that part of Bucharest to get, medical attention or to get, like some sort of appointment. And first of all, I thank God for the doctors and the nurses that went with us. Because they saw so many patients and they didn't give like bad quality. They gave it their all. Like it was just like I think they realized that these families come from afar sometimes, or they don't come from much. Yeah. But they still give the same kind of service that they would give to a patient here in the US.
Y eso es lo bonito. Yeah. So, como toda la medicina y todo eso, ¿lo mandan desde aquí o lo compran ahí? No sé si se puede decir todo eso.
No, you're good. So that's funny that you say that because whenever we went over there, we each of the volunteers, some volunteers were assigned a bag. Okay. In my case, I was assigned the pharmacy bag. I remember I was carrying that big old bag of medicine. Yeah, I was nervous. I was like, oh my God, like what if I lose it? Yeah. Like, because it's so much medicine. Like I remember we would help the pharmacies, the pharmacists, organize the pills and just like start doing small things like putting all the pills inside, making sure like we put the labels. Actually, we didn't put the pills inside. They did that because we can't do that legally. Okay. So they would do that. We would put the labels of the type of milligrams that was in there and what kind of medicine was going in there. Yeah. And so we would just go through like tons and tons of medicine. So like all of one of the reasons why we do the fundraisers is to invest in that medicine. Oh, wow. And to make sure that these families get what they need. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. Y creo que sí hacen mucha promoción, ¿no? En cuanto a los fundraisers y todo eso, o no hacen mucha promoción. Porque creo que estaría chido que todos pudiéramos ayudar a una causa de esas.
There's a way to do it. You could do a monthly pledge to help out for the other missions, not just Romania. So there's a monthly pledge that you could do with the Christian Brigades where you choose the amount that you want to pay per month to be able to support the nonprofit ministry. Nice. Because you're going to be providing the patients with medicine, and you could be providing them with reading glasses. Okay. Just those other things. I know in my case, I was raising money for the hygiene kits. And so, we were blessed enough to provide hygiene kits that were administered to the families, after we left. Yeah. It's an awesome thing that you get to become part of. Yeah.
Nice. No, pues ahí les dejamos en la website para que vayan y chequen y puedan donar o algo. ¿Algo más que quieras decir? Ya se fue el tiempo y parece que apenas empezamos.
Oh my gosh, it's like 9/11.
Ya sé.
I know. I just I encourage anybody who wants to, like, if you've never done anything like being in a mission, try it. I know some people are scared to try things and going into a different country where you don't know the language.
Yeah.
That's okay. Start off small. Start by doing community service at your local church, or start doing community service at your local city. Go to a food bank. Go serve the homeless.
Yeah.
Go serve like your neighbor or someone who isn't really, they need God. They need Christ in their life. Start off by doing something that doesn't so much benefit you.
Yeah.
And that's a good fundament for you to start off on before you want to go take a big leap and go out into the mission field. Margarita's showing like the okay, so here's one fun thing is that the Christian Brigades, like after you do a whole bunch of work, they actually do treat their volunteers out to a special day. So we actually went to Dracula's castle.
Ya nos íbamos a ir y no vamos a platicar de eso. Cuenta un poco de eso. Antes de irnos, ya nos íbamos a ir. Gracias, Margarita, por poner eso.
So Dracula was not a real person, but the castle that we went to was based off, that's where the story came out from.
Okay.
Was Transylvania. We went to Transylvania.
So, y ahí es donde donde empieza la historia de Drácula.
Yeah. So Brother Yanut was actually explaining to us that it was based off of the emperor or the king.
Okay.
That was or not the king, the Count Vladimir was his name. I can't remember his last name, but he was a royal, and one of the ways that and this is going to be a little graphic. One of the ways that he would punish evil was by doing physical punishment.
Ouch.
And execution. And so, people had like theories and stuff. Oh, he drank blood or whatever.
Yeah, so es una locura.
So that's where you get Dracula from. I forgot what the name of the author was from. So we actually went to the castle, and we found out that the castle was very beautiful. It was so beautiful. I didn't share the photos or anything, but like this is the nearby city that's not too far from where the castle was. We went to the city that we're walking in right now. Yeah. It's a city called Prešov. Prešov is such a beautiful city. It's 3 hours away from Bucharest. But it was so worth it. It was like the scenery, the drive, like you're just driving through these green mountains.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And so it was just a great time that we had with everyone there. And I ate some really good Italian food, like some of the best Italian food I've ever tried.
No como la de aquí.
Oh, no.
Aquí está buena, pero
no, the pizza in Europe is a whole other game.
Nice.
It's good. It's delicious. It's the best pizza I ever had. Yeah.
No, pues qué bueno.
Yeah.
Gracias, Sara. Gracias por estar aquí, haber venido otra vez a acompañarnos, compartir un poco de cómo te fue.
Yeah.
Yo sé que hay mucho que hablar.
Oh, there is a lot. There's so many things. But...
Pero también hay cosas que pues son más privadas y son de ustedes, o tuyas más bien.
Yeah.
Pero qué chido, gracias por hacer el tiempo de haber venido y haber grabado este episodio más, este segundo episodio.
Yeah.
Pero que se repita otra vez, que agradezco mucho. También un shout out a Margarito por hacer todo lo que hace, el trabajo que está haciendo. Ya el estudio ya se mejoró un poquito más. Sé que a lo mejor muchos no lo pueden ver, pero ya está un poco más mejor el estudio. Ya tenemos una televisión y podemos pasar cosas en la televisión. So, gracias, Margarito, por eso y estar ahí. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on here. It was an honor for having to come back here with you guys. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, gracias a todos los que escucharon o vieron el episodio, les agradecemos. Y nos miramos para el próximo. Cuídense. Buenas noches. Yeah. O buenos días.
Buenos días.
Beautiful.
God bless you guys.
Beautiful. Ahí está.